everyone, welcome back to my channel. When we think about Feng Shui, most people think about moving furniture or redesigning a room. But the truth is, Feng Shui isn't just about your space. You also have your personal Feng Shui as well. So today, I'm going to share something fascinating, how understanding your personal Feng Shui can actually help you change your life. First, let me ask you, have you ever felt unlucky? Like no matter how hard you try, things just never seem to go your way, while other people put in half the effort and somehow get everything you've been chasing. And you start thinking, why don't good things ever happen to me? If you've ever felt that way, stick around because today I'm going to share practical ways to actually turn your luck around. Recently, a team of physicists at MIT did an experiment that finally settled this century-old debate between Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr. Basically, the question of whether God placed dice or not. The result? Well, it turns out that Bohr was right and Einstein got it wrong. Einstein supported determinism, the belief that the universe operates like a perfectly precise clock. If you could somehow know all the information, such as the universe's initial conditions and the exact positions and motion of every particle, you could predict the future exactly. No surprises. That's why he famously said, God does not play dice. But Bohr disagrees. Actually, God does play dice. You just don't see it. In Bohr's view, particles aren't stuck in just one state. They're in multiple possibilities all at once. And the moment you look at them, all those possibilities collapse into just a single outcome. So in other words, the world isn't set in stone. It's full of hidden possibilities, just waiting for you to choose one. Now we know that God not only plays dice, but the way the dice land depends on how you look at them. So what does that really mean? Let me give you an example. There's an apple inside this box. Doesn't matter if you open it from the top, the side, or even upside down, it's always an apple. No surprises there. But in a microscopic world, it could be an apple, an orange, or dragon fruit all at once. The second you look inside, it snaps into an orange. And then when you shift your view, suddenly it's a dragon fruit. Well, our lives kind of work the same way. The reality we live in often just comes from the way we're used to looking at things. Change your angle, change your mindset, and your reality can shift along with it. And if just observing something can shape the outcome, does that mean we can shape our fortune and luck? In the 1990s, Nobel Prize-winning physicist Roger Penrose teamed up with neuroscientist Stuart Hameroff, came up with something really intriguing. They were proposing that our thoughts might not just be simple brain chemistry. There might be something at the quantum level creating that spark of awareness. If that's true, then every little flash of inspiration, every choice you make, and every subtle shift in your thinking is like reshaping your life as you go. This idea is actually pretty close to what Buddhism teaches, that all things come from the mind and the world is basically shaped by how you see it. In Chinese metaphysics, there's a saying, fate is given by heaven, but luck is made by yourself. Think of your fate kind of like your default settings. The date you were born, the natural talents you came with, the environment you were born into. All of that shows up in your God's birth chart. But luck is a whole different story. It's shaped by the choices you make, your awareness, and your actions. In your birth chart, the 10-year luck phase isn't just a fixed number. It's more like a range with high end and low end, whereas the yearly luck phase are the ups and downs within that range. And your actions help determine where you land on that scale. So think of it like this. If you are in a really good 10-year luck phase, your scale might run from, say, 80 to 100. The lowest you hit is around 80. But if you really put in effort and stay open to opportunities, you can push yourself closer to that 100 mark. On the flip side, if you are in a tougher stretch, maybe your range is more like 40 to 60. Even then, by taking steady action and staying aware, you can still aim for the top of that range. In other words, you've got some influence over where you land. So now the question is, how can we consistently reach the top end of our luck range? Well, British psychologist Richard Wiseman actually spent a decade looking into why some people feel naturally lucky while others always feel a bit unlucky. In one experiment, he split people into two groups. Those who considered themselves lucky and those who felt they were unlucky. Then he gave them a super simple task. Count how many photos were in a newspaper. But here's the twist. On the second page, there was a huge note that says, "Stop counting. There are 43 photos in this newspaper." The people who saw themselves as lucky spotted that message almost right away. The unlucky folks, they were so locked in on counting that they missed the sign completely. So Wise Man wondered, could that just be a coincidence? So he put another big note in the middle of the newspaper. "Stop counting. Tell the experimenter you've seen this and win $250. And guess what? Same pattern. The people who thought of themselves as lucky spotted right away, while the unlucky folks were still busy counting photos. So why does this happen? Well, Wise Man found that unlucky people tend to be more anxious, more negative, and easily stressed out. So they miss the unexpected opportunities right in front of them. Meanwhile, lucky people are just a bit more relaxed and open to exploring and learning new things. Luck isn't some mystical aura. It's more like a muscle you can train and develop. So this is exactly what Stanford professor Tina Seelig talked about in her TED Talk. She says that wind of luck are always blowing around us, but they are kind of invisible. If you don't put up a sail to catch them, you'll never even know what you're missing. So how do you build that sail? Well, she breaks down into 3 simple steps anyone can try. First, take small adventures. Basically, step out of your comfort zone in little ways, such as strike up a chat with a stranger, share a bold idea, or just give an honest opinion. These small moves can lead to big opportunities. So Tina shared a great story. She was on a flight to Ecuador, and she struck up a conversation with the guy sitting next to her. It turned out that he was a book publisher. Right there, she pitched her book idea. At first, he wasn't interested, but months later, she invited him to one of her talks. This time, something clicked. That single connection eventually turned out into a book that sold over 1 million copies. If she hadn't just spoken up, it would never have happened. Second is practice gratitude. Tina has a special habit. She writes a thank you card every single day. She'll reflect on everyone she met that day, and even for the smallest act of kindness, she'll take the time to write a sincere thank you and send it out. This simple practice is actually training your ability to notice opportunities for luck. Third, don't dismiss ideas too quickly. Many people shut things down before they even start, like, "That's impossible," or "I'm not good enough." But as Tina often says, ideas are neither good nor bad. In fact, many life-changing surprises were born from the very ideas you didn't believe in at first. So whether it's luck, opportunities, or breakthrough, a lot depends on how you choose to see it. In Feng Shui, we say your surroundings reflect your inner world. When you adjust the qi in your space, you change how you feel, how you act, and how you respond to life. And as your responses change, your path naturally starts to shift. Even the smallest change in perspective can open up all those possible futures and help you choose the one that works best for you. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time.